welcome to In the Kitchen, Conversations on IoT. I'm your host, Carrie Siggins. I am the CEO of Breadware, and I have Clayton Stanfield with me today, who is our Director of Sales and Marketing. Clayton, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's talk about you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you came to Breadware.
So I'm a longtime Nevada resident. I grew up in Lake Tahoe. I've lived in Reno forever. And when I first got into my career, not only did I have to go to college out of town, but I also worked out of town. So I worked for eBay for 10 years and traveled. I worked for Mercedes for 10 years and traveled every single day. And finally decided to try and stay local and was very lucky to find Breadware, who was a Silicon Valley style company and benefits and vision, but in my little hometown, which just didn't exist 5-10 years ago.
That's so cool. Well, we're glad to have you on board. All right. So Breadware has historically offered engineering services, but now we are offering hardware and software products. So can you tell us a little bit about our newly launched Slice Board? How does it work? What does it do?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, since Breadware started, everything has been custom. Somebody has an idea for whether it's a tracking device or an industrial IoT device. It's always been start from square one, right? What do you need? So we go out, you get a board, you build the board, you go through an alpha stage, which a lot of what you do in the beginning stages is the same. So we decided to build a board that will allow us to do all this in the beginning. So in the beginning, we actually called it the 80% board. We're hoping that we had 80% of it done in this little board. And maybe it's not always 80%, but we've built a board called the Slice that comes pre-certified. It has cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth enabled. It has security, it's got connectivity, it's got headers to connect anything you want to it. And we also have our vast, the last 7 years of firmware we've developed and libraries for the cloud and everywhere else. So we take all this and put it into a board. So when somebody comes to us, we don't start from scratch anymore. We start from maybe the middle, and we can kind of get them to market a lot faster, or at least prototyping into alpha a lot faster than we used to.
So is that the value proposition, is really speed to market, reducing risk for our clients?
Yeah, for me, everybody talks about cost because, the faster you go, the less expensive it is. But I'd say the absolute number one is speed to market. It's getting things done faster, especially in today's world where it might be months to find a part, right? So we've got a lot of people that want to build something, and the engineers always laugh. We used to say, what do you want? We'd build it on paper and in CAD. We go out and find the parts. We don't do that anymore. We don't know if parts are available sometimes with the supply chain. So we now have these boards, and we've pre-built these boards. So we actually have them. So people will come to us and say, we have an idea. We can't find any boards. And we're like, we have 10 boards. Let's do what you need to do, get through the testing, get everything you want. And while we build that out, we can order your parts for the future now. So we're getting them to prototype faster. And for some of these guys, they're out looking for funding or approval from their VP or from stockholders. We can give them a prototype faster without waiting for the supply chain. And while we're doing that, we can start ordering the parts they need so that when we're ready to go to beta and go to manufacturing, we've got things already waiting for them.
Yeah. And how are customers receiving this? What kind of feedback are we getting?
We're getting great feedback. And I think it would always be great feedback, but given the supply chain, we're even getting better feedback because everybody's calling us. They can't even find a Raspberry Pi. Those used to be on Amazon. Now you just can't find those things anymore.
Yeah.
And so we've secured enough Wi-Fi chips and modules that we have several hundred of these boards. So when somebody calls and says, I know we can't start this for 6 months, we're like, yeah, we can. And where I found it really interesting is for some of these people who build boards, they might only want 30 or 40 total. They might be like an industrial IT in a plant or waste management or energy. And they don't even think they can get their project off the ground because if you talk to a supplier offshore and say, I need 50 boards, they're not even talking to you. We talk to customers all the time who would place an order, their POs get canceled because, GM or somebody else comes in and says, I need 5 million. And this poor person building their product wants 50. And so we're actually showing them a way to get somewhere that they might not even be able to get to right now. And at least we get them also there a lot faster.
Yep. That's great. And so what happens if a client says, no, the Slice board isn't what I want. I want to do custom design because I have very specific requirements. Will Breadware still offer these types of services and how they work with their clients on that?
Yeah, there's a couple ways. We talk to the client about what they're doing to see if the slice board's even a good option for the fit for the beginning. And then there's a couple options. We can go with the slice board, and then let's say we build out their project, everything works perfectly, and they say, I need 50 of these boards. That's a pretty easy just to stay within the slice project accelerator environment. But a lot of the other people say, look, I need 5,000 of these or 10,000 of these. So we might use just the slice board to get them to prototyping, to get them to testing. But the actual unit they want maybe is 10,000, or maybe they need something a lot smaller. So at that point, we then take what we have and give them the design files and say, okay, now we got to this stage. Let's now go out and get you everything you need. We do have other projects that are just small device trackers that are a lot smaller. So we probably just use the slice purely for testing and building the idea. But when they're looking for something maybe the size of, a quarter, the slice board right now is about the size of a credit card.
Yeah, great. All right. And then how will the slice board work with the Medium One software platform that Breadware just acquired in January?
So I think one of the best things it offers is both of these items are pre-built. So the software visualization, that part is built out and can be customized. The slice board is partially built out and can be customized. So you have this pre-built environment now where we've got the hardware, the engineering, the firmware, and the software that we can almost on day one plug it in and say, okay, there's a temperature in your office. What else do you want to add to this? And so you can really visualize the project, which is what I wanted. I'm a sales and marketing guy. So the very first thing I want to do is see things like, what's the temperature? What's this? And so you bring projects to life a lot faster. It is very flexible because if it's somebody small, we still do consumer products. I have an idea. I have to go out and get funding. We give them the slice board, give them some functionality, and give them a dashboard, and they go out to now find some fundraising. They're at a whole different level than if they have a drawing that on a napkin they made with their friend one day. But it also can go all the way to larger devices like industrial IoT. Somebody can have 100, 1,000. So it's pre-built, which is helpful. It's flexible, very affordable. The software platform we have is very affordable, and it's scalable. They can start small, go big, and still stay within that framework. And they can customize more if they want to, or they can stay pretty much just right there in the stock where we start out at.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds like you really can address whatever needs, whatever problem the customer has, and maybe even address problems that they don't know they have, right? Because starting the IoT product development initiative is difficult, and it always takes longer, and it always costs more money. And so knowing that you have these products and this partner who can help you reduce risk seems like it would be really great for companies who are doing this for the first time, and companies who may have done a couple of them and go, hey, I want to test my idea out really fast. Is this going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. And we find that a lot, especially when we work with larger organizations who have full chief technology officers. They've been down this road several times. When you tell them, hey, instead of the regular 12 weeks of alpha, just plugging things in and testing circuits, we're there already. What do you want to add to it? And they very instantly see, the time savings on it. So in getting through alpha is takes so much time that you can cut that in half. All they see is their plan coming to market a little bit faster. So that's very helpful.
Absolutely. All right. And so what's next for Breadware?
So add software, slowly becoming end to end, right? And so we're still defining what that is, but I mean, as when people come in, they want to work with one company. They want to work with us. And so before we'd say, hey, here's our product and here's some software that we like. And we have some great partners out there. But now it's nice to be like, here's our product, here is a software, here's it working together today. And so just to slowly build that out to become more of a turnkey end-to-end solution for people where they're not having to go to 3, 4, 5 different vendors, right? They might have somebody in industrial who works with us, and we can take everything there on. And and just to keep growing, helping everybody from small consumer products, entrepreneurs, up through large companies that have thousands of devices around the world they're monitoring. And we're well on our way to doing that.
So will Breadware be coming out with more hardware products and be building out the software platform?
That's the plan. We're already looking at our second board, because there's a lot of things we come across, whether it's audio, a lot of cameras. We have a lot of people who want camera technology, whether it's still photos, video photos. and then building out the software so that you can not only say, okay, let's see my device, what's happening in real time, what's the visualization, but then also actually seeing what's going on, whether it's seeing a building, seeing inside of a waste receptacle, or whatever they want to do. So just building that out so that it's not just the basic. We start go through things like technology, audio, visual. And so, yeah, we'll definitely have a couple more boards in the next couple of years.
Great. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up. So if somebody is interested in learning more about the SliceBoard, about the software, about the turnkey solution, how do they find you?
So the easiest way is to go to breadware.com, and we have a Calendly link there. You can click and talk to me at any time. My name's Clayton Stanfield. You can find me at Breadware. You can find me at LinkedIn. You can find me almost anywhere. I'm pretty Googleable. I'm not sure if Googleable is a word, but if it is, that's where
okay. We'll go with it.
But yeah, we love it, and we're very much, we believe in discovery. We like to talk the project through it. I think one of the great things I love about Breadware team is because we've done this, just from the smallest thing you can think of to the largest thing, we've done it. We have a great team, and we do a lot of discovery. We'll sit there and talk to you about what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked. And sometimes we tell people, I don't know if that's going to work. Let's rethink that. Because taking on a project that we know isn't going to be great isn't good for anybody. So we spend a lot of time talking to people, building them through, and we're with them this entire time. So we spend a lot of time communicating beforehand, make sure everybody's comfortable, get the project going. And that's what I do. I spend all my time with the clients, making sure that what they've dreamed up, our engineers deliver. And it's a big area in between those two places. And we just do our best to make sure they get exactly what they envisioned.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information on the SliceBoard and about Breadware. I really appreciate this time today. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next month.